Hi guys, welcome to an episode of Fuller's Insights, your go-to source for all things real estate in Bali. Today, we present a glimpse into an extraordinary self-sustaining villa, carefully crafted with cutting-edge designs and firm environmental ethics.
I'm Kate Dubois. I came from Australia about 6.5 years ago, and in that time I've actually built 4 different houses, this being one of them, with my partner Rob, and also renovated 3 other villas. So I'm not an interior designer or an architect, but I have a passion for properties or land speaking to me and saying what it is that the property needs to have developed on it. So this particular piece of land really spoke to nature and eco values and principles around biophilic design. So biophilic design is when you're bringing in the mind, body and spirit of a place and bringing that into the actual design features of the home. And there's lots of benefit to biophilic design, including physical and health benefits to ourselves. We wanted to use nature as the hero. We wanted to be in sympathy with the biophilic design. So you'll see that it's a very neutral palette throughout the house so that your eye isn't drawn to artwork or different, sort of hard colors or bright colors. Nature is the hero throughout the whole properties. And in that way, your body actually becomes more sympathetic to nature and starts to live more consistently in that more natural way with the rhythms of nature. I'm really passionate about building and constructing in a way that's in keeping with the Balinese. So the Balinese culture is very strong, and I love the way that they're holding on to all of their cultural values and principles. But around them, a lot of people seem to be designing Mediterranean style villas that are quite stark in the environment. And to be honest, a lot of them are fully air conditioned and enclosed just for people's comfort. But I feel like they're missing the point of Bali. If you look at the Indonesians, they do live in rendered concrete homes. They live in a way that they're sympathetic with the environment. And my wish is that people actually get that and understand that we are in somebody else's country, and that one of the ways that we can respect the culture is to take in the design principles that they have and have had for a very long time. So one of the things you might notice about this house as you're wandering through is that there's breezeways and flow through. In fact, we have air conditioning in every room, but we never use it because you don't need to. We have a very clever water pond that runs around the top story. So when you open up your windows, the air runs across the pond and cools the rooms. And you'll also see there's beautiful timber slats on the second floor and also downstairs, our entryway, which allows for a breezeway and the air to flow through. So being by the river, we have the negative ions all the time because we're actually on a part of the river that is rapid. So we have a lot of rocks there, and you'll notice that it's quite noisy down there today because there's rain in the mountains. So we're getting the effect of that down here in the river. So there's more positive ions in the air and more airflow, and that just translates through to the house. It keeps the house very cool. Personally, for myself, I think people need to be more sensitive to the environment that they're in. So, typically it happens in Australia as well. An architect or a designer will design something without even visiting the site. So the first thing, as I said in the very beginning, I like to visit the site. I like to get the feel. I like the site to talk to me and really show me what needs to go on there. And that doesn't mean just looking at the actual site and the immediate surroundings like nature, but looking at your neighbours and who are they and what would be offensive or what would be sort of congruent with what's going on around them. My wish for people is that people would live more symbiotic with nature because the health benefits of that are massive. Lower blood pressure and, lower stress levels and microbiome. And I was just talking to you before upstairs about taking your shoes off and grounding in earth. And, this property in particular is a beautiful example because of the eco and sustainable values that we have and principles that Rob has cleverly put into this villa. We make our own water, we capture our own water. There's we do have a deep well that's registered, but we don't need to use it because we capture water from the rain in the pool. You can drink from every single tap here, even the shower. The toilet water is actually drinkable water as well to keep them clean. But it is totally a closed ecosystem where we recycle all of our rubbish and waste. We have a vermiseptic worm system. We have a lot going on here that means that we're almost fully sustainable. I think around 90%, Rob has quoted. So it's a great example that you can have a very modern, contemporary villa that's living in symphony or symbiotic with the nature and also the other humans around it. I guess that financially, if you're going to do something right, then that's a commitment that you make. So what I see around Bali is people fighting for the cheapest price. And then I hear about all the experiences that they have afterwards where they've paid a contractor very, very little money and then they've had a lot of problems. So we don't have problems with this villa. We spent a little bit more so that we don't need to spend more money in the future. So doing things cheaply isn't always the best way. I think finding the place that you want to live and look into the future of what that's going to look like, because Bali is expanding and that's an exciting thing for the Balinese. And it's also an exciting prospect for anybody that wants to invest here. But look really closely about where it is that you want to be and project, I guess, into the future about how that's going to look. And I would also advise people to go and speak to local real estate agents. There's no point putting up 1-bedroom villas and multiplying that out by 20 when no one's buying 1-bedroom villas. And what are the values? What are the people actually looking for? What are the buyers looking for? If you're going to build something for an investment, then your local real estate agent is the best person to go and ask the advice from, because they're at the coalface of actually who's buying and what they're buying and what they're actually paying, because you can also risk overcapitalizing on a project, right? If you put so much money and say, well, my villa is going to be much better than the one next door, but no one's buying a villa at that price range, then you've overcapitalized. So being very smart about the money that you put in. Don't be tight when you're building, because it will always come back and bite you on the bum. And, be generous with the local people, because we're in their country. And a lot of the time when you're purchasing or leasing their land, this is their children's inheritance. So have some respect for that as well.